What's going on, everyone? We are back today with some more Piett. A little bit of a second chance for Piett. Not Piett Yellow, not the Piett Red that we made a video for, but Piett Blue being pretty interesting. Before we dive into the list for Piett and actually play some games, I want to say a big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. And I also have a TCG player link in the description down below. But let's dive into Piett here. What are we doing and how are we going to win? Well, guys, we're playing Piett Blue. We're going to be playing a more controlling deck. We've got ourselves the Power of the Dark Side, the Takedowns, the Fell of the Dragons, the Perilous Positions, the Rivals Falls, the No Glory Only Results, the Super Laser Blasts in our deck. All sorts of events to go ahead and kind of get us to the mid to late game alongside Merciless Contest. We've got our ramp package, Price on Your Head, Super Laser Technicians, Resupplies. We've got ourselves a couple of other units outside of the capital ships, or I guess you should say just the one, which is the Dr. Pershing on turn one, helps us to draw a little bit of extra cards. And then we've got some late game powerhouses, right? Gladiator Star Destroyer for Piett and Resupply Carrier for that, well, Piett flip turn, or the 5 resource potential capital ships, or even fort resources. We've got the Arquintans Assault Cruiser as a nice way to ramp and take out some space units. And then we've got our endgame win cons, Avenger, Devastators, even a Malevolence, 9-10 resources. And then for 11, we've got 1 copy of Executor and 2 copies of the brand new Annihilator to go ahead and defeat some enemy units when it comes down and be a nice win con in of itself. We've got a couple copies of Turbo Laser Salvo, hopefully to use these space units to absolutely annihilate the board. Of course, we can go ahead and really do some massive work. But let's go ahead and see what we can do with a brand new Piett, brand new capital ships, and the brand new 35 HP base in some games. Let's dive into it. All right, moving into our first game here. We've got ourselves a matchup against the Dooku Yellow, and something that I've been pretty interesting in playing myself. I'm going to resource this Star Destroyer, and I'm probably going to resource this No Glory. Our hand is pretty, well, decent. I mean, we've got some nice early plays, nice removal, the Dr. Pershing on turn 1, and we're just going to see what we can do. They've got a Confederate Courier. Unfortunately, Confederate Courier is not what I want to see when we got Power of the Dark Side. Of course, we draw another Power of the Dark Side. Probably not something that I'm really going to be interested in, but I don't think I really want this Dr. Pershing at all. So we will go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and draw a card here with, wow, what a hand. That is kind of crazy. There is an Invincible here. And we're going to power the dark side away one of the tokens. There's nothing else that we can do for that. They're going to claim initiative. We drew double takedown, double power the dark side, double Dr. Pershing, which is not exactly what you want to see here. They've got the Invincible. Let's see if they go ahead and get in and attack here. They do. Let's go ahead and power dark side away that Invincible. They've got triple dark raid. Let's see what they grab here. They've got a resupply carrier. Let's go ahead and draw a card and let's take initiative. All right, we got ourselves Resupply and a Super Laser Technician. Let's go ahead and resource that Super Laser Technician. And I'm just going to go ahead and, well, draw a card with Dr. Pershing, see what we grab. We can always go ahead and flip Piett and then play Malevolence, sacrificing this Pershing to go ahead and shrink down a unit, which looks pretty good. Ooh. Do I want to do that? I think what I want to do, let's see, if I flip, I think I will resupply. They're going to flip Dooku, of course. And then I think I will deploy Piett and see what my opponent decides to do here. They're going to attack the base. We're going to go ahead and claim initiative. And we've got a takedown and a Gladiator Star Destroyer. Oh, that's a lot of takedowns, though. I don't think I care for the resupply anymore. Let's go ahead and just play an Avenger here. Get rid of that resupply carrier. And then I think we'll just play out the Malevolence next turn. But Avenger's going to go ahead and kind of wipe out our opponent's units. Lots of very cool stuff going on for my opponent. They got the double resupply carrier with the triple dark raid bouncing it back to their hand. They got the turn 2 Invincible, which is exactly what you kind of want here. And looks like they're going to go ahead and deal some damage. We're going to just draw a card here. We got a Merciless Contest. They're going to go ahead and hit for a little bit. We're just going to claim initiative here. That's a Confederate courier. All right, we got another Dr. Pershing. Not too bad. It's pretty mediocre. I don't think I want another takedown. It's kind of a lot. Kind of a lot. Let's go ahead and Dr. Perilous position away that Count Dooku here. Let's go ahead and get in an attack to the base. Have them defeat that Confederate courier. And we'll see what my opponent has. That's an invisible hand. Ooh, that's a really nice draw for them. They've got the infiltrating demolisher. Let's go ahead and just... Do I want to claim initiative? I think I do want to claim initiative. We've got price on your head, a resupply carrier. Let's go ahead and just get in an attack here immediately with the Avenger. Kill off the invisible hand. I'm going to attack the invisible hand. They can obviously defeat it, but this kind of forces them to choose the invisible hand. Unless they just want to deal 6 to this Avenger, which is totally reasonable as well. Oh, okay. So they're going to sacrifice their unit just to deal a couple damage to the Avenger, which is totally reasonable. Let's go ahead and just play out a Malevolence. No unit to exploit. We'll give Dooku -4/-0. We're just going to play out the Malevolence and see where we're at afterwards. They've got a Cobb Vanth. We're going to go ahead and claim initiative. We'll see if they have something to exploit, because again, they didn't play a Separatist card, so they still have that exploit 3 from Count Dooku. Oh my gosh, is that kind of insane? They've got a lot of units over there. Let's see. Power of the Dark Side, obviously not good. So is Merciless Contest, though. What should I do here? So I can kill the Kraken, which is going to shrink this down. But oh man, what do I do here? It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage coming in. I think I just take down the Infiltrating Demolisher here. Overwhelming Barrage, huh? Ooh, that's pretty bad. Doesn't really get too much worse than that. We can take down the Kraken. It would deal 5, 3, 1. So that's what, 9 damage. That's just enough. So I think they got this game. GG to my opponent. The second Overwhelming Barrage really solidifying that. Turn to Invincible. And us having Power of the Dark Sides against the Confederate Courier was nasty. The Confederate Courier, great card against us, of course. All that controlling stuff, not really going to work. And you saw it there. GG. Into our next matchup, we've got a Grievous Green on the opposing side of the battlefield. Not a bad hand at all. The Dr. Pershing into resupply and having this Super Laser Blast is going to be really, really key in this game. They got a 60? What, 60... Lots of cards. That's like a lot of cards. A 65 card deck. Oh my gosh. Dr. Pershing comes out. We'll pass. We got a Power of the Dark Side. Definitely not going to be good against the Battle Droid deck. So we'll see what our opponent's going to do with that. Probably going to be some exploiting, I imagine. Or maybe not, but regardless, I don't really want to be in a situation where we're playing Power of the Dark Side against what our opponent's got over there. Let's go resupply our Super Laser Technician. There's a Tactical Droid Commander. Let's go ahead and claim initiative here. Price on your head, huh? Gladiator Star Destroyer, probably not what I want. And I will go price on your head on this Battle Droid. And we'll see what my opponent decides to do here. So that's going to be a lot of ramp. Be a lot of ramp. Let's go price on your head here. Gladiator Star Destroyer, not exactly super relevant. They can go out and attack to go ahead and kill my Dr. Pershing, but I think that's fine, especially with Super Laser Blast in hand. We're going to be in a very, very nice position. Sure, yeah. Go ahead and give that guy Sentinel. I think that's totally fine here. Super Laser Technician, huh? All right, let's go ahead and give a price on your head to that Tactical Droid Commander. Surprised they gave Sentinel here, to be honest. We're going to be able to flip Piett and claim that nice little price on your head. Get an attack in, get that ramp going, and then pass. Get ourselves an Avenger, which we can literally just play, which is kind of insane. I'm also going to probably resource... I mean, actually, no glory only results on Super Laser Technician is kind of disgusting. Now that I think about it. I hadn't even thought about that, but I was like, hold on. Can we yoink this? That's not bad at all. We'll see what my opponent decides to do here, but certainly don't mind going ahead and taking that Super Laser Technician. I'll resource the other one because we do have a lot of late game here. The Hu Yang, huh? Interesting. Let's go ahead and just yoink it. I think that's not a bad play at all. We're just going to take that, defeat it for ourselves. The Hu Yang, sure. I mean, doesn't really matter. We're just ramping a ton. Like, they're going to get rid of Piett. That's fine. We're going to draw another card. And we're just ramping and drawing a bunch of cards, which is totally fine. They're trying to deploy Grievous, but they only got 6 resources or 5 resources, and he deploys on 6. We've got double our Quinton's Assault Cruiser. Not exactly what I am looking for, to be honest, against my opponent here, but Avenger's going to start coming down. We got Super Laser Blast, which I can start deploying. Like, that is going to be pretty nice, not going to lie. Definitely going to be in the stage of the game where Devastator's going to be pretty good at this point. Big things like that. Turbo Loser Salvo is going to be a nice one. We'll see what my opponent decides to do here. Is not taking out the Dr. Pershing, so kind of happy about that one. I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and play out an Avenger. I don't really see a reason not to here. If they kill the Battle Droid, that's fine. We get to get another resource. If they go ahead and kill the Hu Yang, they kill their Battle Droid, we get the resource anyways. In our resource pile, you'll see the double Super Laser Technician from us. We got a resupply over here, which we just put into our resource pile. So we are still really in game for a lot of different capital ships coming down. And we're just going to go and claim initiative. They could have a lot of different things. They got the wheel bike. Sure. They're going to attack us for a good amount here, but I mean, we have Devastator. Take down, fell the dragon. I mean, we're just going to Devastator. So let's go ahead and Devastator the Grievous. Absolutely nasty. Absolutely just nasty. Let's go power the dark side on Hu Yang. And yeah, sure, they frozen and carbonate the Avenger, but doesn't really matter. Gladiator Star Destroyer going to go in the resource pile. Let's take down the B2 Legionaries. They've got a Relentless, huh? I suppose we will just go ahead and kill it. And we'll play a resupply carrier. What do we get into the resource pile? Another Gladiator Star Destroyer. Sure. Not a bad hand at all. We drew into a Devastator and Avenger, and that's going to kind of close out the game, albeit a little bit slowly. It's just going to be slow attacks. Well, honestly, if our Devastator wins, it's not going to be slow, but that was pretty sweet. Into our next match, we got Ray Red on the opposing side of the battlefield. Not a bad hand. Super Laser Blast looking pretty decent in this matchup in general. The question is, I think I just want to resource the Merciless Contest and the Super Laser Technician because I'm going to go turn 2 resupply. And then we're going to go into the following turn resupply carrier. This could be a tricky matchup if our opponent, Dr. Pershing, not really looking that great here, has like Pillage in their deck. That could definitely be a little bit scary. They're probably going to be piloting though, and that means resupply carrier into Super Laser Blast a little bit later is going to be pretty nice. They've got a Yoda. Let's go ahead and claim. Black one looking a lot less scary. Another Super Laser Technician, not bad at all, to be honest. Merciless Contest going to be the resource here. Let's go ahead and get down this resupply carrier. Going to do a little bit more ramping for us. We've got Super Laser Technician that we can go ahead and deal 3 to this guy. Force Throw, not bad at all for sure. Now, if they force throw, they're going to get one of our big cards, which is going to be a little bit more unfortunate. But still, we are in a pretty good spot. They're going to target town that away, as I expected. Concord Dawn Interceptors coming in. They're going to go and attack, and not too bad for sure. Merciless Contest going to be the resource here. I'm a little bit afraid of pillage. But I don't think we can really do nothing here. So let's go Gladiator, Star Destroyer, and give it Sentinel. That's a force throw part 2. So second force throw is kind of insane here. Definitely an amazing spot for our opponent. That was about as good as it gets for them. The double force throw is really nice. Let's resource this Rival's Fall. And let's go with the Super Laser Blast. Just knock out all their cards here. Pillage, less good at this point. Force throws, less good, of course. Let's go ahead and get down Piett here. Just to have him on the battlefield, realistically. And let's claim R2 onto the Concord Dawn Interceptors, huh? Price on your head, not exactly a great resource or not a great draw, so we're just going to go and resource that. And our Quinton's Assault Cruiser is going to be pretty good. It is going to allow us to ramp that Concord Dawn Interceptors, and then we're going to have the Perilous Position, which we can put on Ray, which would be pretty nice. I will go ahead and do that if they deploy Ray here. Let's go ahead and just Perilous Position the Ray. Hopefully they don't have like a Jedi Lightsaber or something like that. They got to take down, sure. Let's go ahead and attack Ray for 2. And they're going to claim initiative. We're going to pass. We've drawn 2 Devastators. Okay. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. Hopefully we don't get pillaged, as I said earlier. I'm really worried about the pillage, to be honest. So they're not pillaging us, which makes me think that our opponent doesn't have pillage. And we did it that way because we could play Devastator even if Piett died. So it didn't really matter what we did there. We were going to play the Devastator and hopefully get a little bit more value from it. So that's exactly what happened. And yeah, we don't care if Piett died. They attacked our unit, probably expecting for us to go ahead and kill their Ray. And then they can go ahead and kill the Piett with Luke. But that worked perfectly as we wanted it because we got to Devastator them. Ooh. That is pretty interesting in this scenario. Profundity coming down and making us discard. That's going to be pretty nice. Let's go ahead and get rid of this resupply carrier. No, we'll get rid of the takedown. We'll just attack their base for 10. We'll go resupply carrier, and we got to power the dark side in the discard pile. We won't resource anything. Profundity, going to be in that situation where we don't want to be discarding multiple cards if we can avoid it. And we have this Devastator, which is going to be pretty nice. They did resource something, so they're going to be in a spot where they'll only make us discard 1 right now if they attack in with Profundity. Perilous Position, huh? Let's go Rival's Fall on Profundity. They can make us discard, sure, but we're just going to discard a resupply, which does basically nothing at this stage of the game. Isn't this a when defeated trigger? They should have chose me, I think, right? I don't know. Well, our opponent attempted to discard, I guess, but it didn't work. So this resupply is essentially out of our hand right now. We're going to get in an attack with our Devastator. And then we will attack in with the resupply carrier. And I suppose we will just claim initiative. Our opponent's got to have something to kill this Devastator off. Pillage, huh? Well, we will discard Takedown and Dr. Pershing. There's their Pillage. Pillage in the earlier game would have been a lot better, but we ended up getting there against the Ray Red deck. Definitely some interesting gameplay there. I think Profundity, this is the matchup where Profundity is going to be good. against these more controlling decks where you're actually able to go ahead and discard multiple cards. But even though we had a pretty just average start, we had the ramp into the resupply carrier, which is really nice. Super Laser Blast, great card. Got to kind of level the board and ended up getting there. Into our next matchup, we've got the Piett Mirror. Now, in this, I think we're actually extremely disadvantaged because of the Colossus. So they're going to have an extra card in their hand. But we're going to go ahead and pass here on turn one. Hopefully, our opponent's just going to go ahead and claim initiative. I would expect them to do so, to be honest. We're going to go ahead and just play out a Super Laser Technician here. And they're going to resupply. I'd much rather have resupply, to be honest, in this spot. Let's go Gladiator Star Destroyer as the resource here. They've got a Super Laser Technician. Sure. Let's go price in your head on the Super Laser Technician. They can go ahead and get down Admiral Piett if they would like to. They're going to claim initiative. We will go ahead and get a bunch of things triggering. I think we'll just pass. I don't really see a reason to go ahead and deploy out the Piett right here. We did put, what do we put into the discard pile? Power the Dark Side from our price on your head. They used Piett's ability. We'll pass. This is a game where I think I would love to have I would love to have a vigilance in my deck. They're gonna pass. I'm gonna claim initiative. Do I even I kind of have to resource something here. I don't really want to resource any of these things though. Let's pass. Oh man, there's a Dr. Pershing. Sure, why not? I'll go ahead and play an Avenger, kill your Dr. Pershing. I mean, there's like, they're gonna play their own Avenger, and then like I don't know. This is a silly matchup. Here comes a Devastator or an Avenger. Something like that. Devastator, sure. Let's go ahead and play an Avenger. All right, let's go ahead and pass. Not a fan of this matchup, to be honest. I am not a fan. Count me out, please and thank you. Is this an Executor? What are they trying to play for 12 resources? I'm going to attack with the Avenger. I'm just going to get in 8 points of damage. There's a resupply carrier. Let's go ahead and go with the Arquinton's Assault Cruiser just to grab that resource, to be honest. Let's pass. Let's see if they have something like a Super Laser Blast here. If they have it, we'll put down the Executor and see what happens afterwards. I find ourselves in a pretty good position because of this Executor. Let's go ahead and play out our Devastator to yoink their Devastator. We will go ahead and Assault Cruiser in. Let's play out the Super Laser Technician and pass. Another resupply, Perilous Position. We've already gone through 2 of their Devastators. They've got an Avenger. But we just defeat the... Oh, wow. That's actually pretty strong, huh? Because they're going to be able to ambush with Piett. That's actually pretty funny. I mean, we're getting in a lot of damage here. I don't really care if Piett's on the battlefield here. Oh, I have to pass here. Whoops. We'll tack in for 10. And they're kind of forced to take initiative, huh? I think we'll just resupply and I think we'll just play out an Executor and pass. And the reason I'm doing this is because even if this dies, we will create 3 more TIE Fighter tokens, which is good enough with that and Piett to end the game. And we've got 16 resources, which is pretty nasty. And yeah, sure, they could Avenger here, but we defeat a TIE Fighter token. And then we defeat another TIE Fighter token. And then we attack it with our Executor. Boom. GG. That one wasn't actually as close as I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to be really losing, but they're going to go, they have like this little bit more low to the ground strategy with Pietts and things like that, I imagine, whereas we kind of just ignore that and playing a bunch of removal. We didn't see any Super Laser Blast or anything like that, which would have been able to catch us up. We did get to fight through 2 Avengers, 2 Devastators for my opponent, so I mean that was kind of like what we had. Yeah, we were pretty much even Steven for the most part, but we just got in a couple attacks, and I was thinking that the game was going to go until our decks were gone. So I was like, if I just get in a little bit of damage here, I'll just be able to outlast, but that's not what happened at all. Next up, we're fighting the Maul Green. We're going to go to mulligan this one, hopefully for a little bit of a better hand, and I will say this is a lot better. I do like the Merciless Contest on turn 2 with the price on your head on turn 1, plus the resupply. I like this hand a good amount. They are going to force throw us. Okay, we will get rid of that Merciless Contest. Let's go ahead and claim initiative. And hopefully they don't have a second force throw. That's kind of insane if they were to do so. Price on your head looking kind of mediocre when we got the resupplies enhanced. We're just going to go resupply and we'll see what my opponent has. They're going to claim initiative. Okay, what a start to a game, huh? I think at this point, resupply is looking pretty bad because we have no expensive cards in our hand. And we can kind of just do whatever at this point with how many resources that we have. Gladiator Star Destroyer can come down here and do some pretty nice work, depending on our opponent's situation over there. Let's go and resource this Super Laser Technician. Are they going to attack the Pershing? Sure, go ahead and attack it. Price on your head is the draw. They've got a Maul here. Sure, let's go ahead and just Gladiator Star Destroyer, give that thing Sentinel. And let's pass. No glory, only results. Looking pretty good on that Super Laser Technician, to be honest. Let's see what my opponent has. Okay, they're going to get in an attack here. We're going to go ahead and yoink that to ramp for ourselves. I think that's fine. It's not an amazing play by any means, but it's totally fine. Okay, let's Merciless Contest, get rid of that Darth Maul. Get rid of our own Gladiator Star Destroyer, but it doesn't matter because we have Avengers, Devastators, Annihilators, everything, really. Another Fallen Lightsaber getting in for 9. Sure. That's a Devastator. That's going to go ahead and kill off that Maul. And I mean, that's what I've been talking about. Let's go ahead and just play out a Devastator, kill them all. Pretty nasty. Any Avengers, Super Laser Blast, Turbo Laser Salvos, all of those cards are going to be exactly where we're going to want to be. Let's go ahead and claim initiative. Takedown, obviously not going to work on a Kylo Ren here, but doesn't really matter. I don't think so. I don't even think we start resourcing things anymore. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with the resource here. I will go ahead and just play out this Malevolence so that the Kylo Ren cannot attack here. Malevolence coming down, give us nice restore 2. And then we'll be able to get in for 10 and then 17 next turn and do some restoring, which isn't too bad. I know I could have used Piett's ability, but if I just have the resources, there's no reason to do so. Let's go ahead and get in for 10 into their base. Resupply carrier, huh? Okay, a little bit of ramp action going on. We've got to fell the dragon. I will resource the Super Laser Technician at this point. Let's see what they decide to do here. I imagine they just attack with Kylo Ren. Because they can go to give this an experience token, which isn't too bad. Overwhelming Barrage, huh? I guess you can knock out the Malevolence. I think you do knock out the Malevolence for sure. But I guess we'll see what my opponent's got. Yep. Malevolence gone. Let's go fell the dragon on Kylo Ren. See if they have a second overwhelming barrage. If they do, they can go ahead and shrink this down. But then, I mean, like their game is so over. I don't really see any way that they could do anything. Let's go resupply carrier. I'll deploy Piett, get in for 2. Why not? I don't really see a reason not to. But this turbo laser salvo, just a one-sided board wipe. We have a board wipe and a removal and the all right, we'll just take the 8 to our base. It doesn't really matter. Planetary bombardment really not getting the win here for them, but that's gonna be GG. As I said, I was a little bit worried about the early force throws potentially, but as soon as my opponent was kind of doing the fallen lightsaber, I was like, okay, we are in a good spot because we have the removal for that. We have the options. That wasn't too bad at all. Not that I think this Maul green deck had a good chance in general. Like, that's just a pretty poor matchup, I think, for them. But we ended up getting there in the end. Anyways, into our next matchup, and we got a pretty fine hand, honestly. I'm just going to resource the Perilous Position and Power of the Dark Side. Again, it might seem a little bit awkward in other decks, but in this deck, the turn 2 into turn 3 ramp with the resupply carrier into the Super Laser Blast is a really nice way to actually be able to go ahead and recover in the game. So totally fine with that. Let's go ahead and just claim initiative here. We're going to play out a Super Laser Technician. I suppose we could also go with the Merciless Contest, but I think I'd actually do want to just go with the Super Laser Technician into resupply carrier, which is going to be nice. If there's some situation that happens where we... Ooh, Chewbacca, huh? Chewbacca does change the game a little bit. That was something that is a little bit worrisome, to be honest. Let's go ahead and get rid of this Merciless Contest, and let's just go ahead and play out a Dr. Pershing here. Dr. Pershing is going to give us that opportunity to go ahead and defeat the Super Laser Technician. And then we can go ahead and deploy, Millennium Falcon, huh? This is definitely not going exactly how we want it by any means. Resupply, not too bad. We can get up to the Arquinton's Assault Cruiser, which I think is what we're going to want to do here. Draw a card. We're going to have to deploy Piett here. We're going to take 9 damage, which is going to be kind of a lot here. R2-D2, huh? Okay, we're not going to take 9 damage anymore. Kill that Millennium Falcon, get a resource from it. Let's claim initiative here, and we will be able to kill that Phoenix Squadron A-Wing here. Ooh, Han coming in. Perilous Position is a pretty nice draw. Go ahead and knock out that Chewbacca, get a resource. Let's go ahead and play an Avenger. That's a Marauder, huh? Not too shabby. All right, let's go ahead and claim initiative here. They'll get in for 3. And then we just have to hope they don't have a Surprise Strike as the last card in hand. No Surprise Strike, please. That Chewbacca really messing up our plans, I will say. Okay, they're going to get in some damage here. Let's go Power of the Dark Side. Let's go ahead and go Arquinton's Assault Cruiser. Don't have a third Millennium Falcon, please. Don't have 3 of them. That's nasty. Waylay, huh? All right, well, they don't have anything anymore, which means I will use this time to go ahead and draw some more cards because their readied up units immediately are going to be like Millennium Falcon, and we have an answer to that. We have double Avenger, so we can just kind of take our time here. I don't really think there's anything else that can come in immediately readied up that Akbar Green will be playing. So I'm pretty safe here with Takedown, Perilous Position, double Avenger. They know we have Avenger because they just bounced it. what are you going to have, opponent? Home 1 is definitely not bad. But it doesn't really matter because we will go ahead and grab another resource here. They can go ahead and exhaust something, but it doesn't really matter. We will play out the Avenger that they know we have. We will just go ahead and play out a resupply carrier, which we resupply to take down into the resource pile. We'll attack, and there's an Executor. Merciless Contest looking decent, to be honest. These Super Laser Blasts, not exactly great. Ooh, home 1, huh? That's fun. We're going to go ahead and get in attack in for 8. And I mean, the game is over. They almost got there. That Chewbacca was nasty. And that's going to be GG. GG to our opponent with the Akbar Green. Into our next matchup. And we've got a pretty good one against the Boba Fett yellow deck here. We're going to start off with a Dr. Pershing, which I do not mind at all. There's a price on your head. Don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, but I don't think I care about the Turbo Laser Salvo. I think with this TIE Bomber, I will just go ahead and take the 3, and then I will take the other one from Boba Fett here to start us off. Let's go ahead and draw a card here with Dr. Pershing, see what I grab. Executor is not exactly what I want to see, and Lurking TIE Phantom's also not exactly what I want to see, because now our Power of the Dark Sides, our Super Laser Blasts, those types of cards are basically worthless. So really, really bad sequence there, to be honest. And I guess we will see what my opponent's got to follow that up. Our Quintet Assault Cruiser is really what I want to see here. Ooh, there's a Boba Fett being deployed as an upgrade onto the TIE Phantom. That's actually not horrible for us. Deal another one to Dr. Pershing here. Let's draw a card here. Resupply carrier. Don't mind that one at all, to be honest. Let's take the full 3 here. And we will go ahead and play that resupply carrier. Yes, they can get in for a nice chunk of 6. But this is actually going to be able to take out their TIE Bomber, which isn't too bad at all. And we will be able to claim initiative here. There's a TIE Silencer as well. And triple Super Laser Blast in this part of the game is not what I want to see at all. Let's go ahead and just take out the... Oh, man. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and just draw a card with this resupply carrier. Oh, Fell the Dragon. Come on, where are our actual good cards here? Not what I want to see at all. TIE Bomber will take the full brunt of that damage. Don't really have a choice in the matter. Let's go ahead and take down the TIE Bomber. Triple Dark Raid, huh? There's a Ruthless Raider. That's not too bad at all. We will go ahead and claim initiative. Gladiator Star Destroyer, I suppose, does do something. Where's our Devastators? Where's our Quintet Assault Cruisers? Those are the cards that I'm really looking for. Ruthless Raider coming in. We'll take one on Piett. We will go ahead and draw a card. There's an Avenger. There's no Quintet Assault Cruiser. GG to my opponent. Because they're going to be able to pilot, kill my unit, and then attack. Pretty interesting one there. I think it was just it's one of those things where TIE Phantom's so good against us. So is Chewbacca, by the way. To where that is something that we have to consider, but we have a lot of answers to it. It's just that we didn't draw. We drew a really awkward hand against that one. Especially in the situation that we were in, and we kind of couldn't kill our Pershing by like allowing him to take the extra damage, because we really needed to draw out of not getting an assault cruiser or something like that early enough. And the Boba Fett on Phantom, it's one of the things that I thought was really good with that deck, is pumping up that unit, just like how Yellow Tarkin was doing, is a really scary threat. So we really needed something like the assault cruiser to really do some work, or a devastator, you know, just get a big sentinel. Like if that was a devastator instead of a gladiator star destroyer, we play that out. We completely block the space arena, and even if they go Ruthless Rider and Boba Fett, they still can't get through my devastator. So that actually might have gotten us the win. It would have been really close still, but we didn't have any devastators, no cruisers, and that's gonna be a loss. But that was pretty fun. Let's talk about Blue Piett. All right, so what did we learn with Blue Piett? Well, it's actually pretty solid. I think the decks that we fought today were kind of all over the place. Like, that was definitely not something that I was used to. Normally, we're seeing a lot more pilot decks, a lot more very aggressive decks, and this deck really does do well. I will say the two things that are really big concerns for this deck specifically, TIE Phantom and Chewbacca. That's just going to be something that a lot of the controlling decks are afraid of in general. It might be worthwhile to bring in some more no glory only results for that specific reason. Same with Perilous Position. But outside of that, I mean, we did some major work. I mean, obviously our Quinton's Assault Cruiser and no glory only results do deal with that. The rest of the deck functioned exactly how we wanted it to. Annihilator was not working as we were playing this, unfortunately, so we didn't actually get to see that. Although I don't really think that we would have seen all that much effectiveness out of it. Let's say that Executor was an Annihilator in those situations that we drew it. It really wouldn't have changed the game all that much. In fact, Annihilator is one of those cards where when you're in that controlling mirror, like a Piett Blue mirror that we saw earlier, that's where Annihilator is really good, because now we just play it, get to remove all the Devastators, get ourselves in a position where we can mill them out, and they can't play their big heavy hitters. So that's where that card really comes into play. I will say the standard curve of like Super Laser Technician or Resupply into Resupply Carrier is exactly what you're looking for. And then that leads into Avengers or Assault Cruisers in the following turns. Like if you do go turn 2 Resupply, turn 3 Resupply Carrier, and then you deploy Piett, turn 4 you can play Avengers. And that is nasty, right? Because you're on 6 resources. Or on turn 4, you're on 5 resources minimum. And then you get the 2 bonus, which puts you at 7. And then you get the 2 discount from Piett that puts you at 9 resources, which is incredibly crazy, to be honest. Playing Avengers on turn 4 is really an easy way to win. And that also means that if you just stall a turn or you play like Fell the Dragons or something like that, you can also Super Laser Blast the following turn. Like double ramping in that early game sets you up for Super Laser Blast really nicely. It'll be interesting to see what this is capable of in the future. And I think this is, again, because we're playing a more controlling deck, it's really a testament to where's the meta going to be once we start getting into the meta for set 4. Because if it's a situation where there's a ton of TIE Phantoms and Chewbacca is just baseline in the meta and there's a lot of weirdness going on, maybe this deck isn't going to do as well. But if there's a lot of more aggressive decks and things like that, maybe it's going to do really well. Of course, the Han Solos of the world, I think this actually does not do pretty bad against it, unlike other control decks, because you have that ramp and then you can also deploy a lot of early threats to where the Tech DJ combo doesn't mess you up nearly as much. But I suppose we will have to wait and see, because I haven't really gone ahead and seen the new set 4 Hans in the meta proliferate yet. I've only tested a little bit against it, so definitely a wait and see type of deck with the more controlling game plan. But hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you all for a video.